Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and welcome back to episode 3 of my Journeyathon vlog. I finished my Fair Sister Hill prompt book, which was a middle grade Mad Chat recommendation, and I chose one from Kelly, and it is Counting by Sevens. So I have finished Counting by Sevens. I did not cry as much as I thought I was going to. It was a very beautiful story. The protagonist, Willow, is incredibly endearing. And I'm going to try and say as much as I can with as little spoilers as possible. So what I really loved about this book was the found family aspect to this. So there is definitely themes of loss and grief and kind of how you move forward, and kind of people, like communities kind of coming together to be supportive. Willow has an interest in plants and in growing and kind of the science aspect to all of that. But I really enjoyed, like, that did kind of like link quite well with the kind of the healing aspect to it and just how nature is healing. And I really enjoyed that. And it kind of nods to books like The Secret Garden, where that is, though it has its own problems, that was one of the things from The Secret Garden that I really love. So like the healing of nature is always really lovely. And I just loved like that whole concept. There was also a lot of you see a certain side of people, but actually there is more to them than what they first appear, even if they themselves don't realize it as well. So I really enjoyed that part of the book too. And it is just a really heartwarming story. It feels really hopeful when you have finished it. There was one thing kind of happening at the end. There was a final kind of point, and I just felt it was a little bit far-fetched. I couldn't quite get on board with that one aspect, but I rolled with it. I'm like, sure, fine, whatever, we'll crack on. But there was just that one aspect where I was like, that just seems slightly crazy. But there we go. It didn't touch me emotionally as much as I thought it was going to, but there were quite a few there were moments where I felt a little bit tearful, but they were kind of like happy tears rather than like full-on grief tears. But there were definitely like moments of sadness that I definitely picked up from here. But all in all, I had a really enjoyable read. I don't know if I would have got more from it if I read it physically. The audio book was absolutely fine, but I have been gripped a lot more by other audiobooks. So I don't know if that was the audio experience or if it was the book itself and me putting too high an expectation on it. I don't know. But it was a really lovely read, and I did have a great time with it. I've chosen to take the Earth Path and travel on Jack's Wagon Way via the land to get to Logan Land. So I need to read a book with a protagonist overcoming adversity. Protagonists overcoming adversity is one of the favourite things I love to read about in middle grade books. And I had a lot of options that could kind of fit into this. But this book was calling to me very strongly, and I thought it fitted really well. The Lines They Drew Through Us by Hibber Noor Khan, a historical middle grade. Set in India in 1947, 3 friends from an unmapped village, from a community of mixed religions. But as the British rules start to pull out, tensions begin to rise. They plan to divide up India in order to bring peace to the unrest that they have created. How will this affect these 3 young lives? As soon as I saw this in the library, I was so excited to get to The Line They Drew Through Us, and I also fitted it in to my July book game. So I think I just need to read it. I'm really keen to read from this author, Hibber Noor Khan. I'm really excited about the book, her first book, Safia's War. I've seen it on the shelves, and I think the cover looks really appealing, the concept sounds really great, and I've heard really good things about it. So when I saw her second book out this year in the library, I was like, yes, that definitely needs to come home with me. I know very little about Indian history, and I love reading historical books through middle grade eyes, so I'm very keen to read this one. So yes, because I have reached the place Logan Land, I also get to gather the magical item that is there because I have my backpack. At Logan Land, you have an opportunity to collect a magical item. Here it is the seed. You dig deep, work hard, and grow. So therefore, if you collect this magical item, then one book will count for 2. So therefore, I can make this book, The Line They Drew Through Us, hit 2 prompts. And the place I want to go to next is Hideaway Snug, where all the book prompts are about genres. So I'm travelling to the Hideaway Snug via Earth travel, which means the second prompt that this book is going to be for is a genre you don't normally read from. So my most read genre with middle grade is fantasy, and my second most read genre is contemporary. So having a historical fiction makes me very happy. I do enjoy them when I read them, but it is very rare that I do actually pick them up. So this fits really well for that one as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will let you know all my thoughts on The Line They Drew Through Us in next episode of my Journeyathon vlog. Happy reading, everyone.